Check. Check. Okay. Distractions is in and out. I think he's not here anymore, but what's up if you are? Mason, how you doing? Appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you, Christian. Braden, how are you? Steven, welcome back into the stream, my friend. Laser Show, hello. Mr. Money Mike Madness made it. Prodigy's here doing some laundry. Good luck with that. What's going on, Douglas? Cody, how are you? Did you finish spaghetti dinner? Nice. I had breakfast for dinner. Good old hearty breakfast for dinner. What's up, Epic? Live. We made it. I think I finally figured out, Chad. If you've been noticing in my videos, I've been having these like random moments where my camera will just glitch. I think I just figured it out. Hopefully. We'll see this stream. That's sort of the goal. That's the goal of this stream, is to see if we can get an entire stream where I'm not glitching. $1.99 super chat from Terrence. Can we have some claps to chat for Terrence? That is incredibly kind of you, my friends. I appreciate you. No message, just his 10th live super chat. Thank you so much, Terrence. You are the man. Can we get some claps to chat for Terrence? What's up, Speed Racer? Do I still have my hopes up for Montgomery? Honestly, yeah, I think I still do. There's a couple of things I wanted to go over today with Montgomery. There was some news, kind of, I guess, that came out right before we went on stream. There's been some basically back and forth between the Red Sox beat writers and the national beat writers, and I honestly don't know where it is. I think right now with where we are with Montgomery is somewhere in the middle, right? Brand new jersey. No, this is it looks like a jersey on top of a sweatshirt. It's just a sweatshirt. I kind of wish I got it. I want an older Red Sox jersey. What's up, Jorge? So yeah, we're somewhere in the middle with Jordan Montgomery. If we want to start there, we could start there tonight. We also got some spring training stuff we could talk about. We got the more budget issues, kind of, right? I didn't think it was big enough to sort of make its own video about, because we've kind of already talked about it before, right? We know the situation going on with the front office, but it came up again. So just something to take a look at. Is this news Tristan Costas' Instagram post? Yeah, Tristan Costas is back. Alexandra, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I saw your message on Twitter. It was very kind of you. Welcome in to Red Seat Radio live streams, and welcome into the Red Seat member community. I really, really appreciate you. It's a classic driver, and Alexandra, who actually became a member off stream. So, yeah, Tristan Costas appears to be back, which is good news. I can't wait to see him. There are a few things I'm excited about for this season, and Tristan Costas is one of them for sure. So yeah, I don't know where you guys want to start. I feel like the right place to start is Montgomery. Montgomery, just because that's what everyone wants to talk about, right? Yeah, Slayton is good. Slayton, in my opinion, is making everyone forget. Jersey donation, $2 from Dennis. Dennis, I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. First super chat on the live stream. Can we get some claps in the chat for Dennis, please, for his very first super chat going towards a jersey donation. I got one on the way. I got a Tristan Costas one on the way. I took a chance. on DHgate like a month and a half ago, because apparently this guy's super good at them. Well, we'll see. And honestly, I didn't want to buy one of the new Fanatics ones, so. All right, that's pretty good, Steven. Slade's going to make us forget about Mata? Yeah, could be. Is there any way I could buy a jersey from last year? I want a Bayo jersey. I don't want the small letters. I'm sure there is. I think there's still, if you go to the MLB shop, there's still jerseys there. There are jerseys at like Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm sure if you go to Fenway at some point this year, they'll have the old jerseys too. There are going to be ways for you to buy the old ones for sure. Okay. I honestly don't know where to start. Eyes on Rafaela. Dude, Rafaela so far has been really impressive. The fact that Nesson doesn't air all their games is absurd. It's absolutely ridiculous. There should be a... Is this one? 2024, yeah. Yeah, Rafaela has been looking good, man. Honestly, Steven, I don't know. What do they mean that the Red Sox and Montgomery had a good meeting on the Zoom meeting they had recently? I don't know what that means, right? We sit here, we've got Peter Gammon saying it was a good meeting. We've got Alex Cora saying, yeah, that was just a formal thing that we had to do with all the free agents. We did it way before spring training. It's nothing. Is it somewhere in the middle? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The whole Montgomery thing is driving me crazy, Chad. It's driving me absolutely insane because, like I said, it's like right now you've got so here's kind of what I want to talk about on stream because I feel like. What's up, Salty? Will you're starting in AAA? I know it's early, but I like what Sadie's doing. Yeah, it's too early to call that. I would say give it time. Let it marinate for a little bit. We'll see how it does. I think Williard doesn't look bad either. That's the thing. Williard doesn't look bad either. So I that could go a bunch of different ways here. All right, so here's kind of what we're getting from the Jordan Montgomery stuff, at least recently, as of basically today. First, we got this right up here. It was by Jim Bowden. I got the Boston Sports Gordo. Good follow if you haven't already on Twitter. But it's Jordan Montgomery's unlikely to accept a pillow contract like the one Cody Bellinger took. So right off the bat, that's sort of putting, a little bit of cold water on the idea that the Red Sox are looking to get him for 2 or 3 years with an opt-out after, kind of like a Lucas Giolito type deal. Whether or not that still happens, I don't know. There are multiple teams that would give him a long-term deal, according to Jim Bowden, who I talked about earlier. Bowden also says that the Red Sox at this point must be considered the front runners to land him, which, in my opinion, isn't anything super new when it comes to Jordan Montgomery, but it is something, I think, considerable to look at, right? We got the betting odds, I don't know, a week and a half ago, probably right around our last live stream, I think. But to sort of see it put out there as sort of, hey, this is, at this point, this is what is probably going to happen is pretty interesting. But the problem with these is that you go down to the tweet below it, right? And that's Chris Cotillo, who, everyone's been kind of making fun of it because, again, it's been like the national reporters are like, hey, there's some smoke here. This is sort of going in this direction. And then you've got our beat reporters, the guys who cover the Red Sox, saying stuff like the budget has been set for months. That is confirmed and is the case. Seems like Montgomery or any other money would require convincing Henry at a certain price. What that price is and how he's thinking remain unknown. And this isn't the first time he's tweeted this. He's tweeted this multiple times. Sean McAdams wrote about it. He's done it in an article. So it's quite literally the national media versus the local media, and I don't know who's going to win. To be totally honest with you, I think it's somewhere in the middle, right? In my opinion, right now what's going on is the Red Sox are paying very close attention to Jordan Montgomery. What that means, I don't know. Could it be that they're in constant contact? That would be my guess, trying to feel out where he's at with other teams, what other offers, all that good stuff, where he's at with that. But at the end of the day, Chris Cotillo and everyone who's saying it exactly right? This is going to come down at the end of the day to, one, John Henry. That's it, right? At the end of the day, this is on John Henry. He's already set his budget for the 2024 season. The Red Sox are very close to it based on everything we've seen. We don't have the exact number. We know it's probably lower than it was in 23, so it's lower than $225 million, $225 million. And you're right around $206 million right now. You can't fit, if your budget is $225 million, you can't fit Jordan Montgomery in here. What you're going to have to do, if you are a front office executive, or if you're Scott Boras or whoever it is, at some point's got to convince John Henry he needs to buy in on Jordan Montgomery, and they need to convince him that buying in on Jordan Montgomery helps the team win. At the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. And I don't know. I honestly don't know what the answer is going to be to that question. Can they get John Henry to spend? I don't know. Prodigy's been here for 12 months. Squeeze some class to chat for Prodigy. Thank you so much. Full year of membership to Red Sea Radio. I really appreciate that, Prodigy. He says, hey, Corbin, when are Grissom and Durant coming back from injury? The first part of that question is March 1st. The second part of that question, can you see Giolito and Bayo having an ERA in the threes? Yes. I don't know. I honestly don't know what their ERAs are going to look like. And lastly, when the Members Live is next month. We do it once a month. Robbie Hyde, Tommy. Oh, boy. What did Tommy say? Robbie. Also, hey, Robbie. What's up? What a clickbait title. Oh, so we're not talking about the Jordan Montgomery meeting? Interesting. Interesting. It's all right. Tommy, I'm not going to try and argue with you, my friend. I got Robbie to do that for me. Hot stove? Yes, this is the Red Sox hot stove, Tommy. Hot stove has been off for years, my friend. I don't think you understand what a hot stove is. What's up, Brandon? 3 or 4 year deal is the most years I would commit to Monty. I would spend to avoid 5 or 6 years. That's sort of the question I've been looking at. What would be a realistically better idea for the Red Sox? Would it be, hey, if we're putting out a little bit less AAV, do we go a little extra on the years, or do we go a little less on the years and go more AAV? And I don't know what the correct answer is. I don't think 6 years for Montgomery makes a lot of sense. I think somewhere in the 3 to 4 range is probably the best for Montgomery with the way he's, growing a little bit and stuff like that. Suzanne Sussler says 50-50 Giants sign one out of Chapman or Snell. I could see it. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It feels like they've been linked forever. I think Chapman makes a lot of sense. Just giving me a counterpoint. Not really. I mean, Tommy, it's not really a counterpoint, right? But I appreciate you. Watching the channel. Harrison, what's going on, my friend? Today is the day. I pray to God it breaks while we're live. I don't even know what I'll do. You will watch me have a mental breakdown. You will watch me live having a mental breakdown. It'll be a whole lot of fun. There isn't a ton of teams with the ability to. I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you. Never back down, never what? With the ability to what, Eric? Sign Montgomery, Snell, or Chapman? I think it's a small window. Right now, it's a small window. The problem is the longer they wait out, the more injuries that happen. Every day till he signs, I don't have the ability to do that. I wish I could, but maybe bring the rally hat out. Rally hat's been out of commission for a little bit now. It's still sitting over there, just waiting. We only got a couple of weeks till the rally hat's back. Rally hat. 4 years on a contract's reasonable. I think for Montgomery, 4 years is reasonable. I think you go into free agency with a certain expectation as a free agent, and then you end up essentially deciding based on what the market is. And right now, I think there is a very, very, very minimal chance that Montgomery, Snell, or Chapman definitely won't, but Montgomery and Snell probably aren't getting more than 4 years. I would be shocked. Not going to get him for 3 or 4 years. Pitchers look for total value in their contracts, considering how injury prone they are. He's going to want to cash out as much as possible. No, I think you get him for 3 or 4 years. And again, it's based on, it's dictating on the market, right? It's not dictating, yes, to some degree, it's dictating on what these players want. But if you're sitting there and your options are a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, or a 4-year deal, you can't sit there forever and say, well, I'm waiting for the 7-year deal, because if it's not coming, it's not coming, right? That's just how the market works. And right now, it's not coming. Few team for major free agents. Yeah, I agree, Eric. The market's small. The market's small because a lot of teams are going youth oriented. It's been a focus of the offseason. When's the first game of the season? I think it's March 29th. It always pulls up the spring training schedule. I don't want the spring training schedule. 29th. 28th? I can't read it. That's too small. Yeah, Yeah, 28th is their first game, and it's a 4-game series against Seattle. We'll go live for that first game. It's at 10:30 at night, so diehards are going to be in the chat. Give us your opinion on how Boris is handling the offseason. It's a tough question. I think it depends on what these guys end up making. Personally, I know Robbie, I don't know if he's still in here, but Robbie did a podcast the other day where he sort of broke this all down with Jim, I think his name is Jim. I don't want to get that wrong. But I think it ultimately depends on what these guys get, right? If they end up getting a 5-year deal worth $35 million a year for Snell and then $27 for Montgomery, it worked out really well. If they don't, I think we could start to see a little bit of a shift in the philosophy of players, right? Because if you're a player and you're sitting there and you're like, Boris, I get the idea, but you had these guys sit 2 weeks into spring training and get what they would have gotten 6 months ago. Who do you think is the second lefty reliever with Bernardino? Right now, I'm going Chris Murphy. I always say Sean Murphy. Chris Murphy. I think there's a lot of potential with Chris. Do you think the Red Sox will still sign a righty power bat? I don't think so. I think if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Montgomery. And if they don't sign Montgomery, I think it'll be no one. Heard Montgomery was looking for 7 years, $200 million. Yeah, that's what he started at. Again, the market's going to dictate it, and I think he's got to lower those a little bit. What's up, Evan? My day's been good, man. How's yours been? Thoughts on the Red Sox signing Jason Alexander today? Honestly, I haven't looked too much into him. We'll probably do another one of those videos where I go through all the sort of, right-handed minor league starting pitchers you guys probably missed. But yeah, I haven't really looked too much into him. I'm just gonna pull up his stuff right now. 31, tossed 7 2/3 innings over 11 starts, 7 relief appearance in 22. Posted a 5.40 ERA, subpar 14.3 strikeout rate, strong ground ball rate, and an 8.7 walk rate, right around league average. So I mean, he's just a depth arm. I don't think he's gonna be anything super special, Christian. Do you think people would be happier going into this season if we had done better in the offseason with pitchers? 1,000%. How do you get John Henry to sign a ball player you want? Have Sam Kennedy and Dan Shaughnessy meet with player if Shaughnessy bashes him in? Wait, what? Yeah, I kind of did too, Rick, but I think the Snell and Montgomery markets are so separate from the Chapman Bellinger markets that it didn't do much. How'd the Red Sox do this afternoon? They tied. Am I going to live stream the opening day? Yeah, we'll live stream it. What about Montgomery 4 years and Snell 4 years? That's kind of where I think they end up. Sort of best case scenario. Do you think our pitching staff this year is better than last at the moment without any more signings? I talked about this a little bit. It's sort of, in my opinion, it all depends on two things. It depends on the development of young players, and it depends on what Andrew Bailey, Craig Breslow, Justin Willard, and God, I always forget the driveline guy's name. But either way, those two in combination with each other, I think have a chance of really working out. And yeah, I think they could be better than last year. The question is, can those Kyle Bodie? Thank you, Fenway Films, or Brady. I appreciate it. Yeah, so it's kind of up in the air, Brendan. The problem right now we have as Red Sox fans is that for the past couple of years, all of our teams have had ifs, right? The last time we didn't have an if was 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. We're all, if everything goes right, this team can compete. Well, over the past couple of years, right, everything that could have gone right went the exact opposite way. Corey Kluber could have done well. He did not. Chris Sale could have been healthy. He was not, right? There could have been a big season from Rafael Devers. There was not, right? So we kind of expect these things that are ifs to go the wrong way, but that's not always the case, and I think we're just conditioned to think that way. I'm optimistic about what this pitching staff could look like. 2 months for Dill. Can we get some claps in the chat? Jordan Montgomery waiting room. Yeah, this is what this feels like at this point. Can you run a poll and see if our bank accounts combined could buy out John Henry? I don't want people putting their bank accounts in here. It's a lot of intriguing experiments and solid pitchers on the Sox team, but for real, we lack an ace. Also, a lot of interesting bullpen pieces. I don't necessarily, Johnny, think that there needs to be an ace for them to be successful. I think it makes everything a whole lot easier and should be a whole lot easier. Literally just got home. Oh, what's up, Robbie? King's been a member for 6 months. Squeeze some claps in the chat for King. Thank you, King. Can I now gift members? I still can't gift. I forget how to. Maybe it's this. Oops. Sorry. That was an ad. That was my fault. That was an ad. That was my fault. Who's the number one pitcher at the moment? Gio or Bayo? Probably. If Shaughnessy bashes a player, he will be signed. It's happened with. All right, so we need him to bash then, Mike. Yeah, we need him to bash. You think Slayton will ever be a starter? No, he'll be a reliever. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal, Laser. I think realistically Bayo ends up being the opening day starter. Does that make him the ace? I don't know, right? I don't know. Yeah, Cutter today had some really good stats according to Stuff Plus. Let me pull that up. There were some really good stats according to Stuff Plus. I think that was Milliken who had that. Let me see. I thought Milliken. Yeah, there it is. Cutter Crawford TJ Stuff Plus from today. Cutter's four-seam graded out really well and for good reason. It averaged 93.5 miles an hour with 20.4 vertical break, plus more 1.4 inches higher than it was in 2023. That would rank him as the number one fastball in Major League Baseball among starters in 23. There's good reason to be excited about Cutter Crawford. I'm gonna make me a little bit bigger, chat. I'm just a little bit. We're gonna go like that. There's good reason to be excited about Cutter Crawford. Also, Chris Sale absolutely dominated today. For those of you who missed that, Chris Sale absolutely dominated today. What's up, Pac-Man? What is going on? There we go. All I know, I know it was only 2 innings today, but I think we're gonna miss Sale. It all depends on we've done. The problem is we've done this before, right? We've done this 100 times before, where Chris Sale will look healthy or will get excited about Sale, and then something will happen, right? So I'm not super concerned with Sale yet, and also it all depends on how Von Grissom does too. My point there is Houck hasn't proven. Neither is Bayo. Giolito looking to resurrect his career. Crawford not having a full season. No, yeah, I agree, Johnny. But I'm just saying they don't need one to be successful. It just makes everything a whole lot easier. Was I impressed with Roman Anthony's first game in the big league club? What's up, Pac-Man? Yeah, I was. I mean, the dude's ridiculous, right? So it's basically a sinker. No, yeah, kind of. I think it breaks up though. I think it runs higher. Yeah, Roman looked like he belonged, which was kind of wild. How has Vaughn looked? We don't know. He hasn't started a game yet. He should be back in a couple of days. What's up, Joseph? You're on Montgomery watch? Yeah, we're all on Montgomery watch. JD Martinez would be nice. Jordan Montgomery would be a nice signing. He's a solid number 2. Is better to stagger the pitching signings. Yeah. A right-handed power bat or Rafaela. I think they go Rafaela. If he can be exciting in spring training, I think they. The problem is, are they going to want him up on the major league club? What's up, Mason? Are they going to want Rafaela on the major league club to not play every day? That's my question. Or would they rather him play every day and wait out a little bit? That's my question there, Eric. I don't know. Is it too early to discuss the lineup? No, we discussed the lineup like every live stream, so we could discuss the lineup. Thoughts on how Trevor Story did? Yeah, I'm not really paying too much attention to their actual performances this spring, especially those veteran guys like Story. I think I'm more so paying attention to the guys who are fighting for a spot. The guys like the Rafaelas. Nick York has looked pretty good. I'm looking at the bullpen a lot, specifically too. So I'm not, regardless of how Story does, I'm not super concerned with it. What's up, Corbin? Which player in the Red Sox am I most excited to watch this season? Honestly, right now, it is Tyler O'Neill. I think he could be a bit of a X factor with this team. I think if he's healthy and can play, because I think what they're going to do, what we sort of thought he was going to be when he first got here was kind of a fourth outfielder. It looks more like they're trying to get him into the everyday lineup, splitting time with Massa at that DH spot possibly, or even allowing the outfield to rotate, having, Willier or Rafaela, whoever makes the team, rotate into that DH spot a little bit. And if he can give you 100-plus games, he could be a bit of an X factor for this team, kind of like Hunter Renfroe was a little bit, with more athleticism, a better glove, and faster, which would be incredible. What do I think the Red Sox record will be this season? Look, I'm not predicting anything yet. I want to see how they finish out the offseason. Early predictions, John, I'm going to go 83 wins. Kind of, Gad. I think it's sort of the opposite. I think Snell is holding up the market for Montgomery, because once Snell signs, it could increase the market a little bit for Jordan Montgomery. Yeah, Roman Anthony won't make the team this year, Mike. Rafael gives us plus defense everywhere, so I like him. Yeah. Between Bayo and Crawford, who will win the number one spot in the rotation if they don't get Montgomery, Bayo wins that pretty easily. Between him and Crawford, Bayo wins that pretty easily. What's going on, Joey? Could you see Tyler O'Neill as the number 2 hitter? Probably not. That, in my opinion, that should be Devers constantly, unless Devers is, needs a couple days off or something like that, and you need to throw him down the 4 spot, and you bring Tristan up to the 2 spot. Other than that, I wouldn't put anyone but Devers in the number 2 spot. I think that's where he needs to be. It's where you put your best hitter statistically. That's who gets the most at-bats in a game. So you want your best hitter there. And that's always going to be Rafi until he's not, right? I think it could be a great lineup if those two happens, Johnny. Okajima on my dreams. They're going to be on my dreams then, because Roman Anthony will not make the team out of spring training. Could see that, but I think Boris wants to use Montgomery's AAV as a basis for a Snell contract. Yeah, but they're kind of... Monty can't really use Snell as an equal value. Yeah, but Snell can also use Monty as an equal value. They're different pitchers, right? Snell is more of he's coming off of an AL or an NL Cy Young. Mistake, but Devers at 3. No, statistically, yes. Historically, your best hitter hits 3rd. Statistically, your best hitter should hit 2nd. Tristan Casas cleanup every day. It's either him or Massa, in my opinion. One of them's going to be 4. I wouldn't be surprised if they do Tristan at 4, Massa at 6, just to give him a little bit less pressure. A little bit, right? Just to get him back into this lineup and going every day. And so that's sort of my thoughts on what the lineup looks like, I'd probably do Duran, Devers, Story, Massa, O'Neill, maybe Grissom if he gets to that point, Casas in the 5 hole or in the 6 hole. 7 would be either O'Neill or Grissom, depending on, who works out better. 8 would be, who am I missing? 8 would be Abreu or Rafaela, whoever wins that spot. And 9 would be whatever the catcher is. No, Mike, statistically, you want your best hitter to get the most at-bats, and that is in the 2nd spot. What's an underrated seating location at Fenway? Not really any. There is one area, it's right above third base. It's not the grandstand, it's the level above. I forget the name it's called, but you go up there, you sit up there, you're with 20, 30 people, and you have your own, you basically have, up there, you have your own vending machine, your own bar, and your own bathroom. That's where I like to sit. Where's Story hitting? 3rd. Bench players for the season, what do they need? They need 4 bench players. Reyes, Valdez, a backup catcher, and Dahlbeck. You need Ref Snyder in there too. Reyes, Ref Snyder, a backup catcher, Dahlbeck, Valdez, one of the 2. He needs to be 4th. Yeah, I think you could switch. I think you could switch Massa and Devers, or Massa and Casas. Duran, Devers, Story, Casas, O'Neill, Massa. Yeah, basically, yeah. Potential top 10 offense in the game. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty quickly. May take my wife to. I want to go to PNC really bad. Someone gets injured, Hamilton gets in. I think they'll go more with a Chase Midroth or a Nick Sogard. How does the best hitter get the most at bats? Shouldn't it be number 1? I don't know, man. I don't make the math. What's up, Ben? Who do some fans hate Bobby Dahlbeck for? I've never seen. It's just because he had such a good year. There was so much banking on him, and then he just pooped out. Pineapple on pizza. I'm all in on pineapple and pizza. All in on pineapple on pizza. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because if you have good taste buds, it is like a mirage of flavors in your mouth. You get the salty from the cheese and the bread, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of salty from the tomato. Then you get the sweet from the pineapple. You add a little ham next to it. You get the salty little meat nuggets in there, and it's like a beautiful combination. So you're a man of culture. Yes. When it comes to food, I'm a man of culture. About hamburger pizza? I don't mind a hamburger pizza. Is this a screenshot from Tonight, Harrison? Psychotic? No, dude. Pineapple on pizza is idyllic. In theory, the number 1 hitter walks more and gets less ABs. All right, we'll do that. We'll go with that. What's up, Peter? Have you seen the video of Blaze Jordan? Yes, I have seen the video of Blaze Jordan hitting 500-foot home runs, yes. My issue with Blaze Jordan is where do you put him, right? There's not really... Like, when you look at the team as it is right now, there's not really a place for him unless he learns an outfield spot and becomes sort of a utility man, or you move Rafi to DH, which I guess wouldn't be bad. But in my opinion, if you're doing that, you're going to want someone who's better defensively at third base. And Blaze isn't bad, but he's not like, if you were going to move Devers to third base, it'd have to be for someone like Matt Chapman, or Marcel Myers, something like that. What's up, Reginaldo? I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not good with names, so if I don't, but welcome in. What about I think Nick York could be a major key if he's not traded. I actually agree with that. I think from what you're seeing, Nick York, he's learning the outfield a little bit, and he's just trying to find time at the big league level. And if he was the one who went up to Corbin and was like, hey, let me place a little bit of outfield, Not willing to pay the upcharge. Yeah, that might be too much on the budget, Hayden. Don't you know? That's how the rich stay rich. I'm the new owner. Yeah, I just saw that. Apparently, I'm the new owner of the Red Sox. Effective immediately, Jordan Montgomery will be signing. I appreciate that, Reginaldo. Thank you so much. You would Blaze Jordan in the stands. He could sell popcorn. Someone falls on the field. Put me in, coach. What's up, Dennis? Glad you're here, too. I agree with Duran, Rafaela, O'Neal, and Abreu. We have much better defensive options. 1,000%. Tattoo. I know. I got to make the appointment. Can I show the people? All right. Apparently, I'm the new owner of the Boston Red Sox, according to this tweet. Let me see it. Kind of a rough picture of me, dude. Kind of a rough picture. Breaking news, John Henry sells the team, fires Sam Kennedy, Corbin from Red Sea Radio, and Rob Angelin, the GOAT of Boston, are now going to be your new owners of the Red Sox. Yeah, effective immediately. I don't even know what I'd do, to be honest with you. I certainly don't have the money to sign Montgomery, so I don't know. I don't know what we would do, but it would be a whole lot of fun. If Grissom was a prospect, where would you rank him in our system? It's a good question, Joshua. I'd probably put Grissom in the. Let me pull up Sox prospects. All right, Sox prospects isn't loading. We'll do this. I'd probably put him 6. Probably put him 6. I mean, Red Sox game. Do I plan on attending this year? Probably. I want to get there once a month. That'd be my goal. Would be to get there once a month. Every Red Seat subscriber gets season tickets, obviously. What's the solution to having too many left-handed DH types? I don't think we have too many left-handed DH types. Honestly. Like, I think for what Rafi's able to do at the plate, you can, especially with the benefit of having Trevor Story over there at shortstop, you could get away with having him on the field. Moss is already going to be mainly a DH, and I don't really know who else you'd be talking about. I see Bieber as a Red Sox next year. They will not pay for Fried or Burns. I think it depends on what their youth looks like this year. Yeah, I did it. Isn't it smart to trade Marcelo for pitching now that we have Grissom? No, because one, Marcelo is a shortstop, so they're different positions. And two, I think Grissom's certainly not a sure thing, right? The assumption is that he's going to be better this year. But I think that you don't know what you're going to get from either of those guys, and selling on Marcelo, especially after he had a hurt year, unless it's for a very legitimate pitcher, unless you're talking about getting even Jesus Luzardo, I'd be nervous about. George Kirby, unless you're getting George Kirby, I don't think it's worth trading Marcelo Meyer. All right, Dennis. I'll be here till about 9:30 probably. What's up, Austin? What are my thoughts? Oh, congrats on the new job, by the way. What are my thoughts on the confirmation the Red Sox had a Zoom meeting with Montgomery a couple weeks ago? I don't know what to think of it, honestly, Austin. I think when you're looking at it from an outside perspective, it's good that they're having these Zoom conferences with Montgomery. I wish maybe they were doing in-person meetings. That'd probably make me feel a little bit better. But I honestly have no idea what it could look like and what the optics are. I really don't, because it could mean 1,000 different things. Where are we going to put Meyer? That's a great question. I don't know. It depends, right? If Story is another down year, do they do something with him, try and flip his contract somehow? Grissom doesn't work out. Do they put him at second base, or do they move Story to second base? They could put him at third and have Rafi DH if they really needed to. I don't think you would do something like that. I think it'd be a little bit preposterous to have your $300 million player move off his position for someone who hasn't played a game in Major League Baseball. I just don't think that should be how things work at the Major League level, and I don't think that's going to be how things work. So when Marcelo comes up, I don't know where you play him. I really don't. I think it just depends on what he does development-wise. What's the bigger move, Soto or Burns? Soto, in my opinion, is a better player. But I think Burns has more impact because of how good the Orioles already were. And they literally fixed their biggest problem, which was they didn't have a true stud ace caliber pitcher. They went and got a top 5 pitcher in Major League Baseball. So I personally think Burns is the bigger impact, at least from a Red Sox perspective. If you could get George Kirby, I'd trade Meyer. I would do it too. Meyer worth way more than George Kirby? No. You would have to. It would be Meyer and others. Like Meyer alone wouldn't get George Kirby, and I don't think they're gonna get George Kirby. But I do like the signing of Liam Hendricks, even though he is unfortunately hurt right now. They could definitely help the team when he comes back. Yeah, I think Hendricks will be a big piece when he gets back for sure. Cubs rumored to be looking for bullpen help. Do you think Jansen could be brewing? I would be kind of surprised to see the Cubs trade anything with Craig Breslow, just because I think optics-wise, if they lose that trade, it won't look good. And I think their egos might get in the way of that. It might work out, but the Red Sox have been pretty staunchy on, hey, we're not moving Kenley and taking some of his money. If you're going to take him, you're taking all of his money. I don't know if the Cubs want to do that, especially after handing out $30 million to Bellinger. Will Hendricks be a closer when he returns? Yeah. I need my Meyer winter weekend signature go up in value. True. I got that. There's the ball right there. I always do the opposite right there. Martin could retire. Yeah. Who do you think will be the biggest villain the Red Sox face this year? Alex Verdugo. Doogie might be a good one, actually. That might be a good one. He's gonna crush the Sox. I just know he's gonna crush the Sox. In terms of villains, I think we're all gonna hate Corbin Burns by the end of the year, especially if we get him a couple of times this season. I think, Bo Bichette. I just hate Bo Bichette. So I'm going to say Bo Bichette, Corbin Burns. Alex Verdugo's a good one, though. Meyer's overhyped. That's just simply not true. If anything, Meyer's underrated. Soto for villain? Yeah. Soto's going to crush us, too. Although Soto historically, he doesn't have a ton. But Stroman, yeah, Stroman's a good one. I don't think that's true, AR. Splits, career. Usually there's a buy. Oh, there it is, opponent. I'm an idiot. Yeah, against the Red Sox, he's hit 195 with a 346 on base. That is insane. Only a 342 slug, good for a 47 OPS plus. So I'm not super, super scared of Soto, even though I'm terrified of Soto. Does that make sense? Honestly, Prodigy, I don't know enough about the Celtics to answer that question. I hope this offseason a preview of FSG selling the team to someone who cares about Boston baseball. I wouldn't get my hopes up. Rafi taking Stroman deep in the Bronx will be fun to watch. True. You think Houck could finally live up to his potential this year? I think there's a good chance we see Houck take a big step forward. Yeah. The question with Houck is, can he get his third pitch? Can he figure out a third pitch? Because if he can, then yeah, I think he ends up as a solid number 4 starter. If he can't, well, then we've got a bit of an issue, right? Because if you only have 2 pitches, you're not going to be able to make it through that third turn through a rotation lineup. Yeah, third time through a lineup, and that's what's holding him back. I got tickets this year to Trot Nixon's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Like if you look at Tanner Houck, right? His opponent ERA plus is 80 in the first go round, 105 in the second go round, which I mean it could be better, right? But isn't as terrible as it could be. And then his third go round, it's a 937 OPS with a 138 OPS plus. You figure that out. Yeah. If we punt, who gets retention first, Casas or Bayo? Are you talking about extensions? If they're gonna go in and extend one of those guys, I give my money to Casas first. Sorry I'm late. No problem, Joe. Get here when you get here, my friend. Corbin, I know this is about the Sox, but do you see the Celtics getting an 18th banner this year? Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. Trot Nixon getting inducted to Cooperstown? No, I don't think so. Just sign Montgomery and seal the deal. We'll be all set. Preach, Joe. How about Marcella Meyer and other player with like Bobby D for Blake Snell? Well, you don't need to trade Marcella Meyer or Bobby Dahlbeck to sign Blake Snell, so. Will Verdugo get booed at Fenway? No, I don't think so. That would make no sense. He got traded. I don't think he'll get booed. Unless he says something, which I wouldn't put it past Doogie to say something. Might try and get tickets for Bogart's return game. I'll probably try and do that too. He will, yeah, true. Chance will boo him, but I don't think the overall crowd will boo him. If we don't sign Monty, could you see us signing Rich Hill or Drew Pomeranz? No, I don't think so. If they sign Rich Hill, I don't even know. Where'd I get that jersey? It's just a sweatshirt. You get them like basically everywhere. Pomeranz retired. Yeah, but Pomeranz the World Series winner, though. Yeah, true. Pomeranz did win a World Series. Bobby Dahlbeck for a reliever? I don't even think it'll be for a reliever. Dahlbeck, I might make a video on Dahlbeck. People love talking about Bobby Dahlbeck. Thank you, Ed, for subscribing. I appreciate you. Could Dahlbeck have a breakout season? I don't think he'll get the at-bats, too. No, I know, Prodigy. I know. Tanner was good. He just got scared of all the after getting drilled. He got drilled in what? June? Right? He got drilled in June. Yeah, I guess kind of. His ERA went from well, he wasn't good in May. He certainly wasn't good in May. He was getting unlucky in May, though. He was getting real unlucky in May. June, July. Yeah, his statistics didn't really change after he got hit in the face. I think you get booed to the core thing. That's true. Under over 29.5 home runs. I would say over. Houck has been like this for a long time. I wouldn't say a long time, no. I mean, you look at his Look at his statistics, right? I mean, the problem is that last year was the first year he actually got a chance to start. 21, he got 13 games as a starter, had a 3.52 ERA. 2022, he only got 4 games as a starter, had a 3.15 ERA. So no, it really wasn't. It really wasn't per status quo for Tanner Houck. I think it was just that he was. The big thing was he was giving up home runs. His home runs per 9 were at a steady 0.5, and then last year jumped all the way up to a 1.2. He wasn't walking as many people. Oh, not like he got bad because he was hit last year. No, his statistics didn't change all that much. I think he most of his struggles were that this was his very first year starting. In fact, his FIP was a 4.43. If he had a 4.43 ERA, you're probably talking at, I mean, that's the same ERA as Nick Pivetta, right? Nick Pivetta is certified to be in this rotation this year. Nick was a little bit lower. 4.04. You think Blaze Jordan gets any return in a trade? Yeah, I think he's got some value. How good of a prospect can you get for Jansen? I still want to win this year and wouldn't mind keeping him. If you're not taking any of his salary on, probably not selling very good. Did it just glitch? Did my camera just glitch again? I don't know what is going on with it, but it is driving me nuts. I think Whitlock and Nicky P will be the sparks of the season. Whitlock, to me, I think you have to put in a bullpen role this year. But I think he could be still a spark plug after in the bullpen. Who do I think gets traded? Evan, I really don't care what his facial hair looks like, man. I just want him to hit the baseball. Who might get traded? I would say Kenley's still an interesting person to get traded. I keep an eye kind of on Nick Pivetta. No, Duran is not fake injury. And I honestly don't think Jansen is too, Chance. And we talked about this a little bit in the comments, but if you're talking about them, okay, so your mindset was they're going to put them on the, what's up, Luca? You're going to put them on the IL in order to keep them fresh for teams, right? And yeah, we have seen that in sports before. But I think when you're looking at the specific situation of Kenley and Duran, it doesn't make sense for them to hold them on ice. Jansen, you're asking him to take on $16 million of his salary coming off a season where he was injured multiple times, right? Multiple times. And if you're a team trading for him and the Red Sox are like, hey, he's on the IL, you're going to be like, well, no, I want you to show me he's healthy. I don't care if you're saying he's healthy and you're just icing him, right? And then if you're Durant, it's sort of a similar situation where you struggle for 2 years, you finally have a breakout season, then you get injured. What are you going to look like healthy again? Are you going to be able to replicate what you did in 23, or are you going to go back to what you did in 2022 and 2021? If I'm a team, again, and you're talking to the Red Sox and they're like, hey, Durant's not playing right now, you know? I'm still sitting there and I'm being like, well, that's great. I'm glad you guys are trying to keep him healthy, but why are you doing that? If he's healthy enough for me to give up a legit starting pitcher for, why are you putting him on ice for us? So, Chance, yes, it's happened before, but I just don't think, based on what we've seen from the last year of both of these guys, it makes any sense why you'd ice them to try and get a trade for him. If anything, you'd want him out there as soon as humanly possible to prove these. Hey, look, last year Kenley had his issues, but listen, right now, he's healthy and ready to go. Duran, yeah, he had that surgery on the offseason, but look, he's killing it already in spring training. Yeah, Chance, it is common in sports, but I'm looking at this in a very specific bubble here, right? The overall idea that you're saying is factual, but if you're looking at the two cases individually, it just doesn't make sense. Right? If they both came off of really healthy seasons and there was no concerns about health going into 2024, then yeah, maybe, but I just don't think. So what do I think the rotation looks like 1 through 5? Thanks for being here, Stewie. I appreciate it. Who do you think they will trade for with the players you mentioned? I honestly have no idea who the Red Sox are trading at this point. Not a clue. I hope they keep Mata. He's going to be really good. He could be. It depends. Ramara keeps messaging something. Delete it. I'll read it. I do believe we've gone this far, this live, with no mention of the player we don't speak of. Yeah, I'm purposely avoiding the comments. I think Grissom might have a breakout season. I hope so. Oh, it's right here. Who do you think this year's biggest surprise for contact? I think Durant. Biggest surprise? I think Chris Murphy surprised a lot of people this year in the role that he plays. And I think Grissom falls into that category. They trade Durant, I riot. I know. Corbin, how long is Kenley signed with us for? Just this last year. Yeah, of course it is sound, but that doesn't mean they're not doing it, you know? I'm not saying it's true. I'm just skeptical that there are 2 or 3 players injured or in trade rumors. I honestly think it's coincidence. I really do. And I think it's really hurting the Red Sox that Kenley's injured. I think if he wasn't injured, he would have been traded. Good picks. Yeah, I think both those guys are going to be quietly really solid. Braves fans started their chat. I didn't even know they had a chant. Is it the chop? Anyone think Roman makes it to Boston this year? I think there's a chance. I think the chance is about 2%. I think the only way it really happens is if the Red Sox truly just like either are rapidly tanking or Roman Anthony is blowing up the minor leagues. Chris Sale about to win a Cy Young. See, Red, how are we falling into this trap again, right? How are we falling into this trap again? Do I like the Liam Hendricks signing? Yeah, I like it a lot. I think Hendricks will be pretty important next year. Hopefully you get something from him this year. There was a video of him already throwing, so I don't know. How about Kyle Teal? You think he has a chance to come out this year? Yeah, I think Teal of the big 3 has the best chance. Yeah, Robbie. I keep seeing that too, where people are like, "Oh, he's just gonna take the biggest deal." I think it's a lot to assume of a person, right? It's a lot to assume that where his wife is playing or staying for the next, I don't know, 2, 3, could be up to upwards of 8 years, is something he's willing to not consider, right? And I think that's something that people are downplaying a lot, and I don't really know why. That'd be absolutely insane, Laser. As the owner of the Sox now, you retire in Wake's number? Yes. Teal backup this year. Red Sox got no dog. I don't agree with that. Backup this year. I don't think he's backup this year. I think Teal of the big 3, in my opinion, as the fastest route to Major League Baseball, just because there's no one else there, really. I mean, Wong's fine. McGuire's does the job, I guess. You know what I mean? But Teal comes in, and that's his spot. Chance, again, yes. I think ultimately but again, we heard today that he's not looking for that pillow contract that Cody Bellinger got, right? So if he's going to take a short-term deal, it's not going to be not going to look like what Cody Bellinger's was. And then I think we're at play a little bit. If you're going to be like, look, I'll take a short-term deal, 3 years with an opt-out for 4, then I think you're in play a little bit. Who's the backup to Dave O'Brien this year? Didn't they let Monaco go national this offseason? I honestly don't know. I don't know if Monaco's back or not. Preach, Brady. Can we see story of a year like 2006 Nomar? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. 20 home runs, 93 RBIs, 303, 367, 505. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. Mine is a bit less. Expectations are a bit less. Who takes left field and right field, you think? Willier is good, but I trust Cedon or O'Neal to play. I think O'Neal's going to be playing mainly left field. Willier or Cedon, I don't know, to be honest with you. Wong gets traded before the 2025 season? No. They have no reason to trade Connor Wong. Why would they have two lefty catchers? If anything, they'll DFA or trade Reese McGuire and just keep Wong. Because Wong's a solid backup catcher. Like, think about it this way. Would you rather have a tandem of Kyle Teal and Reese McGuire, or Kyle Teal and Connor Wong? You go with a Roberto Perez type and Kyle Teal? Yeah, but you have more control over Connor Wong, right? Why would the Red Sox take a Roberto Perez on a 1-year deal continuously when they could just keep Wong for the same amount of money and isn't a free agent until 2029, right? Like, just contractually, that makes no sense whatsoever. A guy like Roberto Perez is a guy you fill in for a year. Who cares about control of the backup catcher? It means a lot because, again, you could go year to year and try and find a Roberto Perez or a Tyler Heineman and hope that they work out. All right, Douglas, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Good luck tomorrow. And hope that they work out. Or you could just keep the guy that you know is at the bare minimum solid behind the plate and is under control. Yeah, Manoah was terrible. I just want the season to start. See us against the true ace, Luis Castillo. Yeah, Hickey's not really the backup catcher type. If you're gonna play Hickey, you want him for his bat. And it just doesn't make sense for him to be the backup catcher. Trade for Manoah and Bailey will fix him. God, wouldn't that be a turn of events? That'd be ridiculous. Put me behind the plate, coach. I'm ready. Teal and Wong would be a solid. I think I could see Hickey getting moved. I don't know. He's not really worth a ton, but he does have some interesting upside. I could see him getting moved. Either that or they find a way to fit his bat in. Manoah breakout watch. Yeah, Teal and Wong to me is a very, very good tandem because you get the sort of all-around solid catcher potentially in Kyle Teal, where good defense, good contact, good speed, good athleticism, and then you get Wong, who is a very solid game caller. Am I the only one who thinks McGuire is a decent hitter? Yeah. No, he's not a bad hitter by any means. I just think, I'm not going to say by any means. If you look at, like, last year, he was well below average. Because no one's going to trade Wong for a starter chance. There's no shot anyone's trading Wong for a catcher or for a starter. Maybe you get like a starting prospect, but then again, yeah, it's just not worth it. Have I made my win number prediction? Not yet. I want to see how this Montgomery stuff plays out before I do that. Because if Montgomery plays out well, I'm gonna make a lot of people angry. I wish we didn't sign Massa. I might have to trade one of our young guys. Yeah, I mean, not really, right? You could put Massa into the DH role and be able to fit. You were always going to have to trade somebody. If you had Duran, Abreu, Rafaela, Roman Anthony, Miguel Blaze, and now you added Tyler O'Neill, you were always going to do that. You were always going to have to trade somebody. So why not also bring in Massa? Would Teal be able to handle a pitching staff? Also, everyone say hello to my father. Yeah, so far people are really impressed with his game calling ability. That's something he's obviously going to need to work on. And one of the reasons why I don't see him being in a full-time role in 2024. Yeah, it's something he's going to have to work on. And that's just something that comes with experience, right? That's something that you just sort of, I guess you could be a natural game caller. But Cora was talking about how Teal was in the backfield working with someone, and he pretty well understands movement of pitches and stuff. Does Breslow continue to draft high school shortstops? I would be shocked if we drafted a high school shortstop. If we get Montgomery and keep Jansen, we're getting 90-plus wins, I think. That's a bit of a stretch. Are you Chance? Are you talking about Massa? Or are you talking about Wong? I wouldn't say 90 plus. No. Masaki Yoshida gets a bad rep sometimes for being exactly what we expected. Yeah, good point. Thing is, I'd want to have Blaze or Devers in the DH spot, just someone with a better power bat. To me, the DH spot, like we've been conditioned to have a massive power DH at all times. The DH spot doesn't need to be this monster home run hitter, right? If you have Massa putting up 20 home runs and having a 115, 120 OPS plus, he's a really, really good DH. Yeah, Romana, but I'm saying Romero, but I'm saying like you were always gonna have to do that. This is how it worked out, and even if you didn't have Moss on the team, you're gonna have to trade somebody at some point. I like Wrong. He runs fast, handles the catching well, and has a year of MLB under his belt. Yeah, I think so. Who drafts the players, Chance? The draft is mostly comprised of. I mean, ultimately, right at the end of the day, Breslow could call that. What I here's sort of from what I understand what the draft works like. Obviously, the Red Sox have scouts. They have development people. They have a whole system of people telling you who they think you should draft. And I think what Breslow does at the end of the day is he sort of lays it out, right? He's like, look, this is what we're sort of aiming to look for in terms of overall theme of the draft, right? We're looking for, high velocity, strike zone pounding type pitchers. This is where we'd like to go, but ultimately I think it comes down to what this conglomerate of scouts end up choosing. Yeah, it's the vision, yes. And yeah, it's the vision I think that Breslow sort of outlines. Julio, that would be because historically position players are always paid more than pitchers for the most part. Yeah, a lot of arguing going on about who drafts. I think overall Breslow gives the vision and then they take the rest. I think that's overall what it could be. What will Breslow's war be? I mean, Breslow doesn't get a war. He doesn't play the game, so I don't know. 2025, left field Duran, DH Devers, third base shortstop Story, first base Casas, right field O'Neill, re-signing him, third base Myers, second base Teal, Rafaela. No, I think I don't know if Meyer is your everyday third baseman in 2025. Again, it would be kind of asinine, to be honest with you, if the Red Sox were like, hey, Rafi, I know we paid you $300 million. I know you're the best player on this team, but yeah, we're going to move you off your position for a guy who has never played a game in Major League Baseball. So I don't think that's going to happen. And it's going to be hard for them to say the same thing to Story, too. Hey, Story, look, I know you've been a leader of this team. I know you're our second highest paid player right now? Maybe right behind Massa? No, I think he is second highest paid player. You're losing your spot to a guy who's never played Major League Baseball, right? Semantically, that's just not how it works. Yeah, Chance, that's true, yes. It's true that the guys who are in charge of the draft are still in charge of the draft. But at the same time, the overall baseball operations, because Breslow on the surface is a GM, but he's also in charge of the entire operations of baseball. Meyer's going to play short as soon as he comes up? No. I can almost guarantee you there is the only world in which Meyer comes up and immediately is the starting shortstop for the Boston Red Sox opening day 2025 is if they trade Trevor Story. Because it just doesn't make sense. Again, if you are right, if you're Trevor Story, you're sitting there saying, "Excuse me," right? And I know people can say, "Oh, what does it matter? It doesn't matter, right? You just tell them where to play. We pay them." There's more to it than that. So no, I think the only way Meyer's your starting shortstop opening day 2025 is if you need your younger short. No, Chance. This is not how the hierarchy works, right? Maybe on the surface it looks like, oh, Meyer's going to be better than Story, so let's put Meyer at shortstop. But we have no idea what Meyer's going to look like. None. He could get to the major league level and not be able to hit a curveball. Right? And it's a different story with Rafaela by far and away, right? Because replacing Duran with Rafaela is a lot different than replacing Meyer with Story, or replacing Story with Meyer, or Devers with Meyer. They're completely different things, because Duran had one really good year, but he also had two kind of bad years. You don't really know what you're getting from him this year. He's still getting paid, what, maybe $1 million, right? He doesn't have the experience that Devers or Story have. Hey, Xander didn't play over who? Who was on that 2013 team? Because it wasn't Story. It wasn't a Trevor Story caliber player. Your shortstop was Steven Drew, right? No, Chance. I understand that. I'm saying if Meyer gets the call, at the end of 2024, he's going to be platooning second base. That's what he'll be doing, or he'll be platooning shortstop. But you're talking about replacing a Trevor Story who was an established veteran in the game and one of your highest paid players with someone who's never played Major League Baseball. It's just not how it works. And it's the same way with Devers. For those of you thinking, like Patrick here is saying, we paid him for the glove, not the bat. Might as well move him over to DH. Again, that's your $300 million player you're talking about, right? It's not as easy as saying, well, statistically he plays worse at third base, so we're gonna just stick him at DH, right? There's more to it than that. You can't do that. It sends a really bad message to not only the veterans in your team, but also veterans who you're trying to sign, right? Because if you're looking at the open market and you're saying, man, we could really use a power bat, and let's say Matt Chapman, right? The Red Sox are in on Matt Chapman, but he's looking at this team and he's saying, well, wait a second. If I'm going to sign with you guys, I'm signing to be a third baseman, correct? Because I know you've got a player down there in, let's just say, the Red Sox. Blaze Jordan's one of the top prospects in baseball now, right? Why would I sign there with a chance of losing my job like I just saw Trevor Story or Rafael Devers do immediately when I could sign somewhere else and have at least a little bit of security? Right? So it's not even just an implication on your team, on your leadership in your team by replacing Trevor Story or Rafael Devers immediately, but it's also implications on what free agents think of your team. And that's a big thing too, because if the Red Sox do ever want to spend money again, they're going to have to convince people why they want to come here. Then why did Story play second when Xander was here? It's the exact same thing I'm talking about right now. You're not going to move Xander, who is your clubhouse leader, the face of your franchise, off of his premier position for a guy you just brought in. It's the same exact thought process. I agree, Robbie. He played over, Xander didn't even play over Stephen Drew. He played over Will Middlebrooks, who I think at the time was a rookie. Corbin's on point. Yeah, Corbin, I don't know. I'm just yelling tonight. But it's good to be talking about something other than Jordan Montgomery. Right? It's good to be talking about something other than Jordan Montgomery. Yeah, Tracy, it was just a hypothetical. Blaze Jordan's not close to the Red Sox. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, if Blaze Jordan was your top prospect, you were trying to sign Matt Chapman, and you just replaced Meyer and you replaced Story with Meyer, right? You're going to be sitting there and you're Matt Chapman. You're saying, well, what are the chances that I'm getting replaced basically immediately too? So I don't know. I don't know, Chance. I think there's more to it than just, oh, he's gonna be good, so we're gonna replace him immediately. Why do y'all assume Blaze gets traded? There's a couple of reasons, and I think the biggest one is that where do you put him on the team, right? Your literal two best players are the two position he plays. First base and third base. Those are your two best offensive players. And you're just going to bring him up to be just a DH when literally the entire philosophy of the offseason, the reason you didn't even call Justin Turner was because you wanted versatility at DH. You're going to bring up a guy who can literally only DH and maybe come in and out with Casas and Devers. Maybe. Yeah, and then you got to add Massa into that equation too. And you're right now using the DH to get as many of your young outfielders in here as humanly possible. How long do you keep Devers at third before moving him full-time to DH? I honestly don't know. It's a tough question, right? Because you look at Devers and he's been in the league forever. So you assume that this is just sort of what he is. 1 to 2 years more max, that feels a little low to me. Right, I mean, you look at Devers and you just assume there's not another level to get to. But you're 27, right? Jarren Duran broke out at 27. And we've been sitting here talking about him like people are saying you can't replace him in the outfield with, say, Don Rafaela. So there's a way for him to get better. Casas was a lot better defensively, Chance, in the last couple months of the season. And he won Defensive Player of the Year at first base a couple times in the minors. I'm not really worried about Casas at first base at all, to be honest with you. I think he'll be perfectly fine this year. He'll never be like a Gold Glove winning first baseman, but I think he'll be close to league average. But yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Chance, actually. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Rafaela this year at some point. I like the 4-year mark, Robbie, because then Devers is 30, 31, 32, right? Then you could start Bobby Miller trade details. What? Bobby Miller got traded? There's no way the Dodgers trade Bobby Miller. Oh, what would it take to get Bobby Miller? Everything. A lot. Do the Red Sox trade Mata? He seems like he can't stay healthy. He has no options. It's going to be tough to trade him because he has no options, because he's hurt a lot. Like, it might be worth it more to them to either DFA him and hope he comes back, or throw him on the 60-day IL and deal with it in a little bit. Blaze Jordan would be perfect 3 or 4 hitter in the future. He could be, right? He could be. We don't know, which is my point, right? Yeah. He won't come back if you DFA him? I don't know. Is versatility? I haven't seen versatility in a minute, man. Versatility's been busy, but he made a good point. It's like, yeah, from the surface, you look at it and you say, okay, 25 has had the ceiling he had at one point. It might be worth taking a chance on, but at the same time, too, he's also had so many injuries. He has no options left, so either you put him on your 26-man roster or you end up DFAing him, right? That might not be super appealing to teams. If they have a 40 spot, they might not waste it on a guy that they can't maneuver a little bit. Yeah, you too, Austin. Thanks for coming by. So, I don't know if it's a guarantee that if he goes through waivers. Like I said in my video, I think it is a guarantee, and I still think it's very likely that if they do end up DFAing Mata at some point, that a team picks him up. Like even a team like the Nationals or the Pirates or the Athletics, who can afford to keep him on their big league roster, I think they jump on this opportunity. But I do think there is a chance. Like I did there. I do think there's a chance that a lot of teams look at it and go, that might not be worth the roster spot. Right? So I don't think it's a guarantee, no. Yes, historically, 25-year-olds who throw 100 are usually claimed, but there's a lot more to Mata. Again, Chance, you're doing sort of this generality when you got to look at these case by case, right? So in general, yes, a 25-year-old throws 100 would probably get claimed pretty immediately, but it's not just a 25-year-old that throws 100. It's a 25-year-old who throws 100 that's had a ton of injury history and has 0 options left. So you were kind of either him or you're back to a missing roster spot, right? Yeah, you too, Scott. Thanks for stopping by. Noah Song's a completely different situation, in my opinion. What would it take to get Brian Wu? Probably probably a good amount. Like, yeah, Duran's probably a good comp for Brian Wu in terms of a trade. Say Don Rafaela and Blaze Jordan, probably. I feel like Cutter Crawford can make a change for the better this year. Yeah. I think Cutter makes a big step forward this year. What that means and what he turns into, I don't know, but I think it's going to be better than what we saw. I'm giving up Duran for Wu. I would give up Duran for Wu. Chance is right. The price did go up. But what does that end up being? I don't know. I think Duran's probably a good comp. I think maybe like a Duran Jordan maybe be a comp. Rafaela Jordan, probably something along those lines, right? It's probably not just Duran or just Rafaela, but it's probably fairly close. Wu, I would absolutely love. If you could get Brian Wu, I'd be so pumped, but I just don't think the Mariners are even close. Yeah. Yeah, Romero, you're probably right. Which kind of sucks, but oh well. Monegro. I think you add in Cespedes and Nizan Zanatello, and I think honestly, I genuinely think Miguel Blaze, Nizan Zanatello, and Yoel Cespedes are top 100 prospects by mid-year. I'm genuinely serious. Those guys, Nizan Zanatello is stupid athletic. Yoel Cespedes is a ridiculous hitter. Miguel Blaze just has a stupid ceiling. Like I think those guys are the next wave of, these are the top of the Red Sox prospects. I think that's where it's at. Blaze is so underrated. I don't know about underrated. I think the expectations for him have been tampered because of his injury. Miguel Blaze, I don't think he got shut down already. If he did, that's exactly what I'm talking about. No, I don't see anything about him getting shut down. Yeah, Romero. If they don't call up one of their top three, I think they could have 6 top 100 prospects by mid-year, at least before the draft. I think we start to see him take off a little bit. That's hilarious, AR. Half of his ceiling is way better than them? I don't think so, Chance. I think if he hits the ceiling, he's way better than them, yeah. But half his ceiling, no. Half his ceiling is like Miguel Blaze's true ceiling is something like Julio Rodriguez. The problem is he going to reach that, right? I think you're looking at half his ceiling. What's half a player of Julio Rodriguez, right? Say Don Rafaela, who's already not in the top 4 or top 3. If they don't sign Monty, I'd be scared to go in public if I was ownership. Too many fans have their hopes up. Yeah, man. If they don't sign, I think that's sort of the idea of Boris right now, is he's just sort of planting the seed with Red Sox fans that they're going to get him. And, yeah, it's either going to happen or there's going to be mutiny. So we'll see. Why do they mess up all the starting pitching prospects by making them relievers? Well, I don't know if they're doing the messing up by making them relievers or they're just we've never really had any top 100 pitching prospects. Was Bayo a top 100 guy? I can't even remember. I think he was after his first stint in Major League Baseball. I can't really remember. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, right, you're looking at it, I don't think Brian Mata ever cracked the top 100. Certainly not Connor Siebel. Josh Rinkowski didn't. Tanner Houck, don't think so. Maybe he was like a low 100 guy, but they just don't do a good job of getting in top 100 pitchers. I don't think it's so much that the Red Sox are sitting there being like, "Oh, he's a good pitcher, put him in the bullpen." You know, I don't think that's what they're thinking. It's a tough thing for me with our young guys is durability. Some of them have me concerned. I'd love to see Romero play a full season. Yeah, Romero would be awesome. Again, another guy with a super high ceiling. If he's healthy, that's another guy who could sneak into a top 100. Prodigy, we don't know exactly how long it'll be. Thatcher Hurd, what is that, a guy you want him to draft? I'm so bad with like watching draft stuff. I've always been miserable with it. I'll look around and see what people are predicting the Red Sox to take when we get close to the draft, and then I'll look them up. But yeah, I can't pay attention to that. That's crazy, AR. That's cool, man. Yamamoto spring training debuts tomorrow. Oh, thanks for putting that out there. Is that the one who struck out 16 or something, Lawson? Yeah, the problem, Robbie, is I grew up in New England, and there's just no like college sports in New England really isn't a huge thing outside of maybe BU and BC, right? Like my team growing up, like for college, I guess it would be, I don't even know, UNH, right? And that's not very good. And then I went to URI, which was D1, and they had a good basketball team, but they didn't really have anything. Like, football was miserable. Baseball was D1, but they didn't even have a stadium. All right, Liam, I'll do that from now on. UConn? Yeah, I guess there is UConn, but that was kind of a stretch for me. Plus, I don't know if I call Connecticut New England. I'm gonna make a lot of people mad. No, don't draft all pitchers. We saw that worked out with the Angels. Do not draft all pitchers, please. The Angels literally tried that, and it was an absolute failure. They got what? Reed Detmers, and that's kind of it. Hey. I know people are going to get mad at that. I know, but realistically, if half of your state considers themselves New Yorkers, are they really New Englanders? If you are part of the tri-state area, are you really New Englanders? I accept Red Sox fans. I accept Red Sox fans from Connecticut as New Englanders. Everyone else, no. Nope. If you're a Red Sox fan, okay. Drafted Lester? When was Lester drafted? Like 2008? What town do I live in? I'm not giving away the town that I live in. I live about 20 minutes outside the city. Right side. A lot of North Carolinas. Man, one of these days, chat, we're going to get something on the live stream. One of these days, it's going to happen. Monty on live stream, yeah, that's all I want. That's all I want. From Cambridge. I like Cambridge. Thanks for coming by, Romero. Connecticut is southern New England, at least when I lived there. I'm glad in West Virginia. West Virginia is a nice place, too. 20 minutes outside of Manchester. It's not much of a bragging right. I grew up about 15 minutes from Manchester. I told Cassis at Winter Weekend I lived about a mile away from Fenway. He told me he lives closer. He must be a bigger fan. Sign Ozzie Hernandez. Keith, do I even want to look up Ozzie Hernandez? There's never been a baseball player named Ozzie Hernandez. So, Keith, if you're making a joke, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Yeah, Steven. I mean, people tell you that. I get told that all the time. I'm what's wrong with Red Sox Nation. It just, it's part of being a fan. People have different opinions. The baseball player, Ozzie Hernandez? Nope, clearly not this guy. Get Jordan Montgomery, man. You know what? You know why I really want Jordan Montgomery? So we could stop talking about Jordan Montgomery. And I'm bad with it too, man. I have been talking about Jordan Montgomery for so long. Corbin, we should draft Jackson Lynn from Tulane and Harrison Brown from Austin Peavy. Look up their stats. They're from my hometown. Okay. So Snell to the Yankees and Montgomery to Red Sox. What do you think, Corbin? I'd be pretty upset if Snell went to the Yankees because then that rotation is disgusting. It's disgusting. Although I will say the last time the Yankees thought they were getting a pitcher was Yamamoto, and look how that worked out. So I'm kind of glad they did that whole I've got sources and they're signing, he's signing. San Francisco's getting Snell. I could see San Francisco getting Snell. Yeah, I do it an unhealthy amount, Devers. Like an unhealthy amount. Our rotation's disgusting too. Look, the reason people don't like this rotation is because of what was promised. But looking at it, just if you take away the offseason politics and just look at the actual rotation itself, it's not people are comparing the Red Sox to the Athletics or the White Sox, who are going to be miserable, or the Reds, who aren't going to be good, or the Pirates. You know what I mean? Like, the Red Sox aren't in that tier. And if you look at where, and I honestly think their floor is where they were last year, which isn't good, right? It's 21st in Major League Baseball. I'm not sitting here saying this is going to be a good rotation. I'm just saying, if you take away the offseason politics, right? If you take away the idea of what was promised this offseason and just look at what this rotation looks like, and also the players outside the rotation, the coaches, low-key the A's rotation is higher upside. Yeah, Chance. I hope that's a joke, because that is maybe the dumbest thing you've ever put in this chat. It might genuinely be the dumbest thing you've ever put in this chat. The Athletic has Tyler Soderstrom, Jordan Diaz, Aledmus Diaz. Oh, no, wait, that's there. J.P. Sears, Paul Blackburn, Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, Luis Medina. Yeah. I genuinely think the Red Sox, if you just look at it in a bubble, and we're just looking at the actual rotation itself, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Yeah, we're missing an ace. Yes, there's no ace on the Red Sox. But that doesn't mean it can't still be successful. But we're going to miss the playoffs with this roster. I think it's obvious that all right, now that I'm looking at the A's, it's not the stupidest thing you've ever said, Chance. but I think the Red Sox rotation will be better than this. Fujinami signed somewhere. I forget where they did. Yeah, it was the Mets. Thank you. Yeah, Robbie, that's sort of obviously there's a lot of downside to not having an ace, right? But I also don't think it's as bad as I think it will be. I think saying that the team is going to miss the playoff from the gates is just something I'm not physically able to do. I think the overwhelming statistics and the overwhelming predictions don't have the Red Sox as a playoff team, but I cannot go into a season assuming this team will not make a postseason. I cannot physically do that. People hate that I can't do that. I just can't. I can't do it. Right? I can't sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this season, but they're not making a postseason, right? It's just not who I am. It's not who I've ever been. So I cannot do that. I don't know. It's just not who I've been. The only way we make the playoffs is everything goes right. Yeah, yes, but we don't know if everything's going wrong yet, right? We just don't know. Devers for Uri. I'm not trading Devers for anybody. I do think the rotation had a lot of upside, but I feel better with an ace. Giolito could be a game changer from the hunt. May go out and get our ace. That's the other thing too, right? If this rotation, if they don't get anyone, I think you look at it and you get to the trade deadline, you're in contention. I have faith Breslow goes out. Maybe they don't get someone crazy, but I think they get a front line. I could see them getting a front line guy. Yeah, no. If we sign Montgomery, he's technically the ace. Yes. Yes. I think it ends up being Monty. And the problem is, like, Monty becomes the number one. He doesn't become the ace, right? You don't need an ace. You need a number one. There's a difference, right? There's very few true aces in Major League Baseball. If we go through the rosters, just because I think it's good to put it in perspective. Even in the AL East, right? Kevin Gausman's a great pitcher. Is Kevin Gausman truly an ace? I don't think Kevin Gausman's truly an ace. He was solid last year, for sure. He was solid last year for sure. 3.16 ERA, right? But he hasn't been doing it super consistently. I don't think he's a true ace, right? When you're talking ace, you're talking Cy Young candidate. Maybe Gausman does that once in a while, but I don't think that's truly an ace. The Orioles have Corbin Burns. That's a legitimate ace. The Rays have McClanahan. That's an ace. Right? The Yankees have Cole. That's an ace. We're talking about a top 10, 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball. You go over to the Guardians. They don't really have an ace. The Royals, they don't have an ace. The Tigers, Casey Mize at some point could become an ace. They don't have an ace. Twins definitely don't. White Sox, they don't have an ace. Maybe you call Dylan Cease an ace, but from what we had last year, I don't know if Cease is in that conversation for legitimate ace. Yeah, Bale's a great pitcher, or Gausman's a fantastic pitcher. I don't think I put him in the ace category. The Angels don't have an ace. The Astros, do they still have Verlander? If they have Verlander, they have an ace. The Athletics definitely don't. The Mariners, Luis Castillo maybe. The Rangers, healthy, obviously they got DeGrom and Scherzer. The Braves have Strider, obviously. The Marlins have Alcantara. The Mets, Senga. I think it's early to say Senga's an ace. Nationals definitely don't have an ace. Phillies have, they call Nola their ace. I think it's really, really Zach Wheeler. Brewers, they don't have an ace right now. Cardinals, they don't really have an ace. Cubs, Justin Steele, maybe, but he's only done it 1 year. Pirates definitely don't. Reds definitely don't. D-backs, Zach Gallen. Dodgers, you've got Yamamoto, who could be an ace, but they don't have an ace yet. Giants, Logan Allen, I would consider, I guess. Yeah, see, I wouldn't put Logan Allen as an ace either. Padres, you got Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove, who I think have been good enough to be an ace, and the Rockies don't have an ace. Right, so you talk about, like, I don't know, 10 aces in Major League Baseball in total. Cole Reagan for the Royals is nasty. Yes, but this is what I'm trying to say, right? You can have number one pitchers, very good pitchers, but it takes very, very specific people to be a legitimate ace. If you go through the Red Sox, right? Josh Beckett was a legitimate ace. Pedro Martinez was a legitimate ace. John Lester at some point was a legitimate ace, but like even Chris Sale, who was very good and was an ace for some points, wasn't an ace his full career. We made it all the way in 2021 to the ALCS without a true ace. Right? Evaldi was good. I don't think anyone's considering him an ace pitcher. There's a difference between getting a number one and getting an ace, and I think what you're getting in Montgomery is a number one. It allows you to have a guy at the top of the lineup who could go against all these players and give you a chance to win. And that's not an ace, because an ace you'd go up against these players with a good chance to win, right? But that also puts you in a different conversation. Yeah, I say Gallen's an ace. Right, so realistically, you look at it and you say, okay, so I would say Alcantara is a real ace. Strider, I don't think is an ace yet. Blue Jay, no. Orioles have Burns. Yankees, Cole. Rays, McClanahan. No one in the AL Central has a true ace on the team. Angels, Athletics, Astros, Mariners. I would say either Luis Castillo or potentially George Kirby, but I don't think he's there yet. That's 5. Rangers, you got DeGrom is 6. Mets, Kodai Senga could be. I don't think he's an ace yet. Nationals, Phillies. Yeah, I'd put Zach Wheeler in the conversation. That's 6. Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs don't really have one. Pirates, Reds don't really have one. Gallen, 7. Dodgers have one. They have like 4. Right? Giants, I think Logan Allen. I don't know if I put Logan Allen in the true ace category. So I'm still at 6 for the entire league, or 7 for the entire league. No, Alcantara healthy is an ace. Gosman's not an ace though. He's a good pitcher. He got Cy Young votes. I don't think he's an ace yet. If he does this, if he anchors this season one more year, yeah, okay, fine, give him the ace. He wasn't even the ace on his own team when he first got there. Alek Manoah was the ace of the Toronto Blue Jays when he got there. Yeah, they could be an ace, Patrick, but I'm saying they don't have an ace right now, right? And so what I'm trying to say is that everyone sits here and says the Red Sox need an ace, they need an ace, they need an ace. They need a number one pitcher. They need a guy who you could put at the top of this rotation who can go not toe-to-toe with these guys, but go up against these players that are at the top of these rotations and give you a chance to win, and Montgomery does that. Montgomery allows you to do that. And so that's why I think getting Montgomery one of the reasons why going against Montgomery is super important. And that's not true, AR. The Red Sox toasted Gausman this year. Or last year. Is Snell an ace? I don't know. Is Snell an ace? Snell could be an ace. Problem is Snell's not consistent enough to be like a legitimate ace. But we went into the game thinking it'll be low scoring. Yeah, that doesn't matter at all, AR, because the result was that they scored a hell of a lot. So that means absolutely nothing. Yeah, 2-time Cy Young winner. I agree. Yes, Gausman. I'm not arguing that Gausman's been good. I'm just saying when you put him up against these guys, he's not beating him out for Cy Youngs. He's not beating him out for All-Star appearances, for whatever that means, right? He's a good pitcher, maybe a top 10 pitcher in baseball. That's not an ace. Could Giolito be our number one if he gives you what he did in 20? Honestly, people forget how good Lucas Giolito was. How good Lucas Giolito was in the first half of 2023. People are like, oh, it's a 7 ERA, dude. He gave up the most home runs in baseball, dude. Look at this. In 21 games, he had a 3.79 ERA. 21 out of his total 33 starts, he had a 3.79 ERA. Like, that would be, if you could get that out of Giolito, yeah, that's a frontline guy. It's a frontline guy. It's a 1, maybe a 2, right? I mean, that's crazy. and people are like, oh, you're so far removed from what we got from Giolito in 19. Yeah, but he also did it literally last year for more than half the year. I don't know. I don't know about Logan Webb, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say Logan Webb is or isn't because I just don't know a whole lot about him. Came in second this year. I would say if he continues to do what he does. So yeah, it's kind of like the Kevin Gausman thing, right? He's been good for the last 3 years, but second in Cy Young, which is really impressive. 11th in Cy Young the year before. I think if he does it another year. Corbett thinks Edward Cabrera is an ace. Yeah, you got me. I still think Edward could be a good pitcher. I do. Sue me. Gausman finished third. This is what I'm trying to tell you, AR. Listen. Gausman, if he does it for another year, could be in the ace conversation. Same with Logan Webb, right? But he hasn't won a Cy Young. He hasn't been doing this for 5 years. Verlander, yes. Prodigy. Scherzer, not really. He's got the legacy ace status. You know what I mean? Bayo will be better. That's not hard to beat. Bayo I don't know why people think Bayo sucked last year. Bayo was pretty good last year. Ace? No, but he was good. I mean, he was still above average in almost all of his statistics except for strikeouts per 9. Giolito is a starting pitcher, 3 or 4 at best. All right, Robbie, thanks for coming by, my friend. Giolito, if he has a season, like if he does a full season where he's a 3.79 ERA, 3.79 ERA, you're putting that in the 4 spot? Be honest with me, Dario. Totally honest with me. 3.79 ERA over 21 games. He gives you 3.79 over 30 games. 9 more games than he had. 9 more games. You were genuinely putting that in the 4 spot. In any rotation, Major League Baseball. 3.79 ERA. With a 10 strikeouts per 9. And a 1.223 whip. In every rotation, maybe besides the Braves, the Phillies, and the Dodgers, that's the number 2. So number 2. That's a solid number 2. All right, Steven. Have fun, my friend. Max Fried an ace? Nah, I don't think Max Fried's an ace. My whole point is this. Is the Red Sox don't need a true ace. They need a number 1 pitcher, and that's why, to me, Montgomery is so important. I see a lot of people saying stuff like, I see a lot of people saying stuff like, oh, well, Monty's not an ace. He's not going to change this team, and I just don't think that's true. I think you look at what Montgomery brings, right? And you look at the sub-4 ERA, the 30-plus starts, the left-handed pitching in a stadium where favors left-handed pitcher. You look at how it impacts not only the rotation, getting you someone who can be at the top of this rotation consistently, but also what it does to the bullpen and what it does to the overall morale of the team, and it's a massive, massive, massive positive. Yeah, I mean, Max Fried is good. He's a good pitcher. Max Fried is a great pitcher. He also, of his 7 seasons in Major League Baseball, has played an entire season 3 times. Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd, Liam. It's absurd. Mike Lorenzen. Michael Lorenzen, to me, doesn't do a whole lot at this point. Like Michael Lorenzen's good, but you're just sort of adding to the lump of back-end starters you already have, right? If the Red Sox, in my opinion, going to add anybody, it's got to be at the top. There's no reason to add to the bottom. You already have those guys here. Red Sox next ace will be 2030. I think it depends on how Bayo develops. It depends on Mike. It depends on how Bayo develops. Depends on if they decide to spend money next year. There's a lot. Nah, I don't think I'm too in on Bieber. I don't know if that's sarcastic or not, AR. With how stacked the Dodgers rotation is, do we think Ohtani will pitch at all the next couple of seasons? Absolutely. Kershaw's on a 1-year deal. Buehler's on a 1-year deal. He's going to be a free agent next year. It's really, I mean, after 2025, it's essentially Yamamoto, Buehler, and Ohtani. Rusty's with $2 super chat just to say what's up, y'all. Thank you so much, Rusty's. I appreciate you so much. Can we get some claps in the chat for Rusty's, please? Thank you, Rusty's, for your kind donation to the channel. I don't know if Michael Lorenzo will be able to do that for you. Gavin Stone, sure. Do you think I've said Edward Cabrera or Scott Barlow more on this channel? Probably Cabrera, right? Because I don't think I ever made an individual video on Scott Barlow. I think. Hey, thank you so much, Captain. I think I made at least one individual video about Edward Cabrera. Yeah, Scott Barlow. I wanted Scott Barlow so bad last year, or was it 2 years ago at the deadline? Chance? I think it was 2 years ago, the deadline. Yeah, I think it was 2022 I wanted him at the deadline. I still think that would have been good. I still think that would have really helped the 2022 team. I'll keep saying it. But yeah, he did not do well last year. Although he did do he did have a 3.07 ERA once he got traded. Once he got trade chance, went back down to a 3.07 ERA, 1.35 ERA plus, 3.15 FIP, so he's pitching right up to it. Just saying. I was so big. I was so big into Scott Barlow. I still want Edward Cabrera. I would still take Edward Cabrera. Did we get you know who yet? No, not yet. We're not talking about it. Shh. Chat, I'm thinking about getting a new microphone. I'd take both. Yeah, same. Can I stream to the end of the Celtics game? Probably not. If we finish top 3 in the division, we would have had to trade for 2 good Lichers. No, again, AR. I think you get Montgomery in here, and you're talking about. I'm thinking about the Sennheiser profile deal. That's what I'm thinking about getting. I don't love the idea of XLR. I think it's too much work for me. It's too much work for me, and it's also like I'm essentially right now I'm sort of maxed out in terms of like my budget, right? Like XLR, you're looking at you got to get the mixer, and you got to get the connection to the laptop. You got to get all this stuff, and then you also have to get the mic. So I just want a USB. Nobody cares about this besides me and Dill, I think. But yeah, I'm looking at the Sennheiser. Yeah, the $500. Yeah. And then you got to get the $500 mic. You got to get the $400 mixer. You got to get all the cables. You got to be able to hook it up. You got to figure out how to mix it correctly at some point, hopefully. But Red Sea Radio sign makes a set. It didn't look good before, Chance. Unbelievable. No, I agree. The sign really makes everything look better. Shout out Whitebeard Designs, man. They really killed it. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you, my friend. Just tuning in, but do you think that Bellinger deal speaks volumes to the remainder of the Boris clients? I think it speaks a whole lot of volumes to Matt Chapman. I think it really sort of outlines what we're looking at for Matt Chapman. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on Monty and Snell. I think they're just too much of a separate market altogether right now than Bellinger and Chapman were. But I do think it'll have some impact on Matt Chapman, right? Because Matt Chapman was kind of sort of in a similar boat. But that's kind of sort of what you're looking at with those sort of mid-tier free agents in terms of what their value is on the market right now. But again, I think pitching is a different premium. Yeah, Liam, I just stopped. I stopped paying attention to him. He has not been right a singular time. He was right about who? It was one thing. It was their interest in Gio Urshela. That's it. You think Meyer, Anthony, or Teal, any of them up this year? I think we might see, I think we're going to see Teal at some point this season, probably towards the very end. And then I think we might see Meyer. And I think we might see Anthony. I wouldn't rule any of them out of the equation yet, but I would say it's much more likely that we get to see Teal than we get to see anyone else. Monty equals Lance Lynn? I don't know. I don't think so. I would have taken Bellinger on that deal. Yeah, it was a great deal for the Cubs. I think Teal's the only one because the catching position is the biggest need. True. Last name was Henry. Yeah, true. Thanks, Joe. You too, my friend. Whoever gets Chapman feels like they're going to get a good contract with him. Yeah. I think Chapman ends up settling. I really do think Chapman ends up getting a very similar deal, but a lot less money. I think you're looking at like 3 years, $60 million, or 3 years, $50 million even, with an opt out after each year. But if you're Chapman, dude, I don't know. Be like John Lackey in 2013. The problem with John Lackey in 2013 was incredible, but he also got. We get Matt Chapman? No. There's no room for Matt Chapman on the team, and not for what he's looking for, certainly. Yeah, the problem with comparing, Chapman's defense is crazy. And again, like I said, if you were going to get someone like Chapman, that's when you start to think about, that's when we started thinking about moving Devers to DH. What's stopping Devers from being a full-time DH? You don't really have there's no reason to right now aside from. Like there's like if you had again a Matt Chapman coming in, or you had a defensive wizard third baseman prospect coming up, then maybe, right? But there's not really a reason to move him right now. I agree with that, Sox content. So I don't know. There's not the only reason is because he doesn't have good defense. That's it, right? But who are you going to put at third base? Pablo Reyes? He can't be an everyday starter. Yeah, don't. He also he gained a lot of muscle this offseason. CJ, yeah, you're crazy, Carter. Yeah, Dahlbeck, great. We'll put Bobby Dahlbeck out there for 160 games because you guys want Rafi at DH, right? That just is. There's no reason to put him at DH unless it's to get Matt Chapman or to get a legit defensive wizard over there, and you want to just shore it up. I wish we got 2008 Daisuke for his whole career. Yeah, that'd be incredible. Did you see Rob Englund tweet you an hour ago? Yeah, I saw that. That was by Harrison. All right, unless you're counting on him to be the right-handed bat, you're missing. But that's worse than just betting on Story to bounce back injury-free. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Chapman's an interesting one. They have athletic weight. Yeah, there you go. They have athletic weight. Poppy was big. But Poppy was also like the greatest hitter ever, so it doesn't matter. That's athletically big, AR. Athletically big. Yeah, looks like the Giants are talking to Blake Snell and Matt Chapman. Interesting, chat. All right. 2 hours. We're getting closer, chat. We are getting closer to nice, long game-watching live streams. I think we're only about... I don't even know. I think we're only about a month. We're literally 1 month away. One singular month away from being able to watch games together, and that feels so good. Which prospect that might come up this year do you think will break out? Willie or Abreu? If not Willie or Abreu, then say Don Rafaela. It's one of the two. Either way. All right, chat. I think we've covered everything, which was essentially mostly Jordan Montgomery. Hopefully we get that answer soon. Hickey might, Hickey won't. Hopefully we get that answer soon. Because I don't know how much more of it I can take. Going crazy over here. I either want my heart broken or I want to do victory laps. It's one of the two. I just need something, right? Either way, I appreciate you all being here. For everyone who donated anything, I can't thank you enough. All the new members, all the old members, thank you so much. If you haven't considered hitting that subscribe button, help us get to 10,000 by doing so right now. If... you haven't hit that like button, would also help these videos out. But, you know what? Not super necessary on these. I appreciate you being here, whether you're here for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Or the whole time, which is crazy. Some of you guys do that, and I can't believe you sit down and watch me for 2 hours. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Connecticut is New England. Only if you're a Red Sox fan. Thank you all very... Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what our video is going to be on yet. Hoping maybe we get a little Monty news tonight or something. Please. I'm going crazy. Maybe I'll make another Monty update video. Although I don't know how many more I can make before people start getting mad. Either way, thank you all, guys. Appreciate every one of you. I will see you all in the red.